Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're pulling the thread on something really vital. For anyone who's pushing their limits, could be leading a team, coaching, competing yourself. It's this critical link between inspiration and actually doing something about it.
Right. That moment when a great idea hits or you see something clearly, what happens if you wait?
Exactly. And we're going to explore this through a concept from Coach Ed Padalecki in a piece called The Law of Diminishing Intent. He builds a strong case for acting fast when that spark hits.
A really strong case. So our plan is to unpack that core message, figure out why it's so important, and pull out some solid, actionable insights for you if you're a business leader, a coach, an athlete, basically anyone focused on high performance.
Because in those fields, delaying action isn't just inefficient, it can genuinely be the difference maker. And the core idea from Coach Padalecki, waiting costs you more than just the opportunity. It cuts deeper.
It really does.
So let's start right there with the main concept from Coach Padalecki's piece, the Law of Diminishing Intent. John Maxwell helped popularize it, so it has some history.
It does. And Coach Padalecki puts it very simply, the longer you wait to do something you should do now, the greater the odds that you will never actually do it.
Sounds straightforward, doesn't it?
Deceptively so. But the implications are huge. Anyone who's put something off knows that feeling, that initial urge. It just fades. He describes this delay as a decay in motivational energy. That first burst of, I need to do this, is powerful, but it's also fragile if you don't act on it.
He used a great analogy for this. He says that initial inspiration, that flash of insight or clarity, it's like a fire. It's got energy, warmth, light. But if you pause, if you hesitate, that fire, he says, turns into fog. It gets cold, blurry, indistinct. You just can't build anything solid on fog.
That's a sticky analogy. It really captures how fast that useful energy can just dissipate if it's not channeled into action right away.
Okay, let's just pause here and ask you, listening right now, how often does this happen? You finish an inspiring book, leave a great meeting, get a brilliant idea mid-workout. You feel that fire.
We've all been there.
And Coach Padalecki walks through what happens if you don't act then and there. Instead of doing it, you start thinking more about it, analyzing, weighing the pros and cons.
Listening to that inner critic, maybe.
Right. And the longer that goes on without any actual step forward, the colder that fire gets until the fog just rolls in. The idea isn't just paused, it's effectively gone. The window closed.
And this next point from Coach Padalecki is, I think, particularly sharp, maybe even a bit uncomfortable, especially for high performers. It's not just about missing one chance.
What does he say?
He argues that this law of diminishing intent doesn't just stop you from doing the thing. It actively chips away at your identity as a doer.
Okay. That's significant. Your identity as a doer.
It's crucial for this audience, right? People whose success hinges on execution. Your identity isn't just your results, it's who you are in the process. Are you someone who acts on good ideas? Being a doer, someone who bridges intention and action, that's foundational for high performance.
So every time you feel that inspiration fire up and you let it just fizzle out into fog because you didn't take a step, you're subtly reinforcing a pattern.
Exactly. You're teaching yourself on some level that you're not the kind of person who follows through.
Wow. Okay. So for a coach, that might be seeing an improvement area, but never quite implementing the new drill. For a leader, identifying an opportunity but getting bogged down in analysis.
Or for an athlete, knowing you need to change a habit, diet, sleep, whatever, but never taking that first real step. Over time, those missed actions pile up. They don't just cost results externally, they erode your self-belief internally. That hits confidence, hits performance.
Makes total sense. So if delay is the enemy and the risk is chipping away at that crucial doer identity, how do we fight back? Coach Padalecki points to Tony Robbins.
And Robbins has that very direct principle Coach P references. Never leave the site of a decision without taking action. It's his core strategy against procrastination. Capitalize on peak motivation.
Never leave the site of a decision without taking action. It's so definite. It implies that moment, that decision space, has a certain energy, and once you walk away,
it starts to fade. Coach P gives us the sports psychology term for this, commitment anchoring. You're basically locking in your commitment right when you feel most strongly about it.
Like putting a stake in the ground.
Precisely. Hammering it in while the ground's soft, so to speak. That immediate action creates emotional and behavioral inertia. It uses that high energy to get you moving, making it easier to keep moving. It's smart psychology.
Okay, so that commitment anchor, that first immediate step, is key. But Coach Ed Padalecki, drawing on Robbins again, stresses that it can't stop there. That first action is just the start. It needs follow-through.
Yes, it needs to be followed, he says, by sustained, massive action. It's not about frantic, unfocused busyness. It's about purposeful intensity. Action that's focused, deliberate, and consistent over time, aimed right at the goal.
Purposeful intensity, I like that. Strategy, not just chaos. And why is the sustained part, the consistency, so crucial after that initial anchor?
Because, as Coach Padalecki points out, the energy you apply early compounds, like interest in a bank account or gains from consistent training. The results aren't just additive, they build on each other.
Ah, the compounding effect.
Exactly. That first spark, captured by immediate action, is the foundation. But it's the consistent, purposeful intensity afterwards that builds real momentum. The tiny first step makes a ripple. Sustained action turns it into a wave.
This really hits home for our listeners. You're leaders, coaches, athletes, high performers. And Coach Padalecki says it outright. For this group, decision-to-action speed is a key predictor of success.
Which makes perfect sense. In any competitive arena, hesitation is costly. Windows close fast, competitors move. The ability to turn insight into immediate focused action is a massive advantage.
It's not just about having the ideas.
It's about implementing them faster and better than anyone else.
Okay, so practically speaking, how do we embed this? Coach P offers 3 clear steps in the source material to make this work for you, whatever your field.
So step 1, spot the spark. Develop the awareness to actually notice when genuine inspiration strikes. What idea gives you that buzz? What opportunity feels right? Don't just let it drift by. Recognize it. That's your green light.
Right. Be attuned to the signal. Step 2.
Step 2, act immediately. This is the commitment anchoring part. Take the very first step right then. And it doesn't have to be huge. He calls it a micro step. Just enough to create that initial inertia and signal to yourself, okay, I'm doing this, I'm in. Maybe it's sending one email. Maybe it's jotting down the drill idea. Maybe it's putting your running shoes by the door. The size matters less than the immediacy.
Okay, a small immediate action to lock it in. Got it. That feels manageable. What's step 3?
Step 3 is build consistency. That micro step needs legs. This is where the sustained, massive action, that purposeful intensity comes in. Focus on planned, disciplined action. Coach Padalecki uses the phrase daily deposits.
Daily deposits, like banking.
Small, purposeful actions done consistently. That's what builds momentum over time, and crucially, it reinforces that doer identity we talked about. That's the compounding effect in practice.
Spot the spark. Act immediately with a micro step. Build consistency with planned daily action. That's a really clear framework. And Coach Padalecki actually poses some direct challenge questions based on this, right?
He does. He turns it right back to you, the listener. First, what idea, opportunity, or behavior have you been meaning to start? Get honest. What's been lingering in the fog?
And don't just stop there. Apply the steps. What's the smallest next step, the micro step you can take today to move it forward? Not next week, today, right now maybe.
And then thinking longer term. What system will help you keep going tomorrow and the day after? How will you turn that micro step into sustained, disciplined action?
He even boils it down into these key formulas from the source. Worth remembering. Intention without action equals friction. Just feeling stuck.
Right. Then action without follow-through equals wasted energy. You start, but fizzle out. The initial effort is lost.
But the winning formula Coach P offers is action plus consistency, confidence, clarity, and performance gains. That's the path.
That's the equation for turning sparks into results consistently.
So let's put the question out there, as plainly as Coach Padalecki does. What intention do you need to act on right now before it fades?
Think about it. And his advice. It's simple, direct. Do it. Then do it again tomorrow. It cuts through all the overthinking. Just act, then repeat.
Because there's a crucial distinction here for achieving real high performance.
Speed is a force, but momentum is mastery. Speed gets you started, captures the spark, but it's the sustained momentum from consistent action that leads to true mastery. We've seen it's not just about efficiency. Acting quickly and consistently on your insights builds momentum and shapes that vital identity as someone who gets things done.
Thanks for joining us for this exploration. We hope this gives you the insight, maybe the nudge, and definitely the framework to tune your next spark of intention into real, sustained action, starting today.